Let me at this point for our viewers play out the first reaction that we have from the US president.
The Trump rally was a rally that he should have been able to be conducted peacefully without any problem. But the idea that there's political violence or violence in America like this is just unheard of. It's just not appropriate. I mean, everybody must condemn it. Everybody. I'll keep you informed, and if I am able to speak to Donald, I'll let you know that as well.
Okay, Rohit, we heard that from the US president condemning the incident and saying that there's no place for such an act in a democracy as vibrant and strong as that of the United States. Coming back to the incident at hand, Rohit, you pointed out that this very well going forward could change the political discourse in the run-up to the elections. How does this sort of position Donald Trump as a candidate now? You know, we know that he's anyway ahead. He has made a strong start as far as the run-up to the elections are concerned. He's deemed as the front runner, somebody who's expected to come back to power. But what does now, in terms of his positioning, change in the run-up to the elections?
Look, you know, Harshit, for the last close to 3 weeks, you know, what have we seen in the U.S. is the debate performance, right? That started off this you know, whole stuff about how Joe Biden is weak and he's frail and he's too old and you know he should go make way for somebody else. And people saw during that debate, you know, how well Trump performed. If you watch the video again, and if you could probably make the viewers watch again, the first thing he does, you know, after he gets up, is Secret Service is trying to take him off the stage. They're trying to take Donald Trump off the stage. Obviously, you know, somebody's firing bullets, but you see the image of Donald Trump fisting his, you know, like pumping his fist and trying to, you know, make sure that he's sending a message that he's there, he's alive, and he's going to fight it out. I think that image of Donald Trump is probably going to go a long way in making sure he wins this election. He has obviously been seen as somebody who's strong, but in that moment when, you know, a bullet just grazed his ear and Secret Service trying to escort him out, he had the strength to understand what the situation was and what it demanded from a leader that Americans want to see. And you see a leader, you know, who stands up tall, who looks in the eye, you know, of everybody and start, you know, punching the air and sending that message that, you know, he's here to stay. So I think if you were to ask me that question that you just did, I feel like this is now Donald Trump's election to lose. He has done everything right up until this point. There will be, I mean, there are a lot of months now in November, but looking at the mood of the nation, looking at what has happened, looking at how strong his supporters will be, and some of those independent voters, right, who would have seen that, hey, we saw a president in Joe Biden who was weak, and look at this guy, you know, who's up there, you know, standing tall, just right moments after an assassination attempt, and then goes out, you know, and then issues this statement. So I think a lot has been made about, you know, age and this and that, but the images, I think this probably would capture the imagination of a nation. That here is a candidate, you know, who's going to fight for us. That's what his supporters say, you know, who's all for America.
Rohit, just hold on there, Rohit. I'll just come back to you. Stay with us. Lenka White, journalist from New York, joining us at the moment. Lenka, thank you so much for sparing the time and speaking to us here at India Today. My first question to you, what exactly is it that you can tell us as far as medical attention to Donald Trump is concerned? Is there something you can tell us over there?
So Donald Trump, after it happened, Donald Trump was immediately taken to a local medical facility and he was examined. Donald Trump has also released a statement about half an hour ago where he said that he's now okay, he's safe, and that it hit his upper ear part. So the blood went like in this direction. And of course, it caused bleeding all over his face and on the shirt, as we could see from the terrible images.
Right, but how shocking is this really that, you know, an incident like this, a security breach of this sort takes place, that too at an election rally of a former US president?
It's crazy. I personally have been a couple of times at his rallies, and there is always a massive amount of people. There are thousands at this rally. There were about 50,000 people. You go through a gun detector when you enter the rally. You have to wait several hours. According to the reports, this sniper, he was actually not within the parameters of the rally, but he was laying on a building, on top of a building overlooking the rally. And it's a massive security failure. I mean, they should have known, they should have checked it, they should be aware that there is such a possibility. So it's really questionable why it all happened.
Take a look at what happened.
Lenka, it's interesting what you pointed over here. Contrary to what's been suggested till now, that perhaps it could be somebody from the rally. You're suggesting that it was indeed a sniper from a distance who took a shot at Donald Trump.
Yes, according to the latest reports, it was a sniper from a distance shooting at Donald Trump's. There were reports he was actually behind him, and it was through this way. So if Donald Trump wouldn't turn his head, it would go directly through his head. Of course, this is all reports. This is all based on the video footage. They are still gathering the information. Donald Trump even said that he still doesn't have any information about the shooter. So I think they're just collecting right now, and these are all approximate reports and assessments, but it seems like it's a very big security danger and incident. And for example, U.S. Senator J.D. Vance, who is one of the vice president picks for the vice president, he said that this is definitely not an isolated incident, and that Biden is actually responsible for this due to his bad rhetoric against Trump, calling him a fascist.
Okay, Lenka, thank you so much for joining us and sharing your thoughts with us. Rohit, my colleague, continues to be with me right now. Rohit, as Lenka says, perhaps the politics around the issues already begun, with one of the senators saying that perhaps this is a result of the kind of slander you've seen from Joe Biden towards Donald Trump.
Right. I mean, there were two ways for American politicians to take this. One was to have everybody unite, and come out and say, what, we're going to tackle this. And there's the other way. This is election year. You could probably expect some of these things coming from some of the people, who want to leverage this and say, hey, you called us this, and that's why this is happening. Well, just for our audience's sake, this isn't the first time an assassination attempt has been, taken on Donald Trump. I mean, I remember when he was president from 2016. I think June of 2016, another national, British national actually tried to grab a pistol and get into his rally and try to shoot him. So again, it's sad that some of the politicians are failing themselves and their constituents by saying such things. A lot of things have been said about both the candidates. A lot of things Donald Trump has said about about Joe Biden. But I don't think that anybody should actually take a gun and do this. I also believe that it is just not what Joe Biden has said. I think the political discourse in the country has been polarized right after the Tea Party movement in 2010, when Obama was the president, right? And we saw things that were said about Obama, things that were said about Michelle Obama, things that were said about Donald Trump, Hillary Clinton. I mean, this is all sort of accentuated to have something of this sort happen today. But if some of these politicians are trying to take a cheap shot at this point, anybody and everybody should actually despise them.
That's right.